Hello, and welcome to the Bookkeeping Direct channel, where we help independent consultants maximize cash flow. My name is Gabrielle Fontaine, and this is step 2 to mapping your success with cash flow. Today, we're going to talk about hidden cash pulling strategies for consultants. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. Cash is hiding inside your consulting practice. Did you realize that? We have 5 simple ways to pull in more income that in places you may not have realized, and then how to speed up that process and your next steps. So cash is hidden in your practice, and it's hidden in places that you may or may not realize. And honestly, what we're going to cover today, you may have heard some of these things before, but my question to you is, how many of them are you actually doing on a regular basis? So let's get into it. First, cash is hidden in your rates and pricing. It's also hidden in your relationships. It's hidden in how you work with your clients, as well as your online presence. Now, any of these can help increase your income, but combining them with consistency over time, turning them into habits, is really where you will get a huge return on investment, or in this case, return on effort. So the first one may seem obvious, but raising your rates. My question is, are you doing this? Do you raise your rates on a regular basis? You should at least be reviewing your rates, whether they're adequate, on an annual basis. And that's because it will help you to stay competitive as well as keep up with the rising costs. We know that inflation affects all of us. And so you should be raising your rates between 5 and 10% per year. And this is because not only are your costs going up, and your clients will expect that your rates are going to go up from time to time, but likely you have continuing education, you're getting more experience. So you should be compensated for your added expertise and experience that you are providing and benefiting your clients with over time. You also want to consider when you're looking at your rates is what is the demand for your type of consulting? What's your own workload like? A great time to raise your rates is when you are overloaded with the next project. That's when your prices go up. And also consider your clients' sensitivity to price raises. The reality is when you raise your prices, you in time raise the quality of your clients as well. And so those that are price sensitive will start to drop off. This particular strategy, the impact is immediate to your cash flow and to your profit. So you do want to be doing this. If you haven't raised your rates in a while, focus on this strategy first. The next strategy is to improve your client communications. You want to be proactive in listening to your clients. Well, of course we listen to our clients, but you want to be checking in with them proactively. Find out what's going on in their world. What is their experience right now? Not only with the project that you're working on for them, but also just everything that's going on. Because if you do this, you may find that the client will start to see that there is additional work that they would like to add on to the project that you're working on. That's great. You can renegotiate and increase your contract price. Also, it may stimulate them to realize that they may need you for another project down the road, whether it's 6 months following on the heels of your current project. It is a way that when you open the door to just listen and find out what's going on in their world, that will come across to them as you really caring about them, which you do, but it helps them decide that they want to work more with you. But because it feeds and nurtures that human connection, and that is becoming more and more important, especially with AI. It raises your KLT factor, which you may or may not have heard of, your know, like, and trust. This is what helps us bond together as humans. And when you have a great tight relationship with your clients, they feel that you really care about them, they will always want to be working with you. You will not have competition. So this particular strategy can get you short-term increase in business, but it also works as a good long-term strategy because people remember when you care. And you're going to see this theme coming up through the rest of this video, that bottom line, consulting is a relationship business. It's a human business. We need to connect. And when we connect, it tells others that we care. And when they know we care, they will want to work with us. So, speaking of that, let's talk about stimulating referrals. Referrals come from relationships, not just your clients, but also that you're currently working with, but obviously with those you've worked with in the past, as well as your colleagues, those that maybe you've worked on projects with before or gone to classes with before. Also influencers in your slice of the consulting industry. Who are the movers and shakers? If you get to know them, build a relationship with them. Great way to get referrals. And the way you do that to make it easy for them to refer business to you is they need to remember you. And they need to remember what your specialty is. Who are your right type of clients? And what is the specific problem that you solve? So you've probably done this before, but coming up with what I call a memorable differentiator is just a little one-liner that's short and easy to remember. You may have a longer one that embellishes, but come up with a short one where you just say that you help your specific type of client with the specific type of solution that you provide or the problem that you solve. So in my case, I help independent consultants with cash flow challenges. Easy to remember. And that way, your referral partners will remember who they should be sending to you. So the impact of this way is medium to long-term referrals that will help build your business. Again, you can see a habit of building these relationships. And to even continue on that, any type of leads that are coming your way, you want to be following up with them because the fortune is in the follow-up. And the proof is in a study by Crunchbase, it takes an average of 8 touches to get a conversation with a prospective client when they're ready to talk about working with you. And that's because they may hear about you, yes, through a referral, but often they want to get information first. So you can help them with that. You want to be able to provide value and do it on a timely basis. That means information that's going to help them to want to talk more or explore more with you so that they can realize that, yes, you're the right consultant for their needs. So focus on their problems. Again, using that personal interest, their experience, and you're not focused on selling your services. They will sell themselves when you show that you care about what they're up against. And then make it easy for them to continue down the path towards working with you. That means telling them what to do next. So depending on how you're communicating with these leads, you want to tell them what's the next thing they could do when they're ready, such as click the link to book an appointment, or click the link to download a white paper I wrote on this, or to go see my newsletter article that I wrote specifically about the issue that you're facing. And you can do this through email, you can do this through direct messaging, or you can do it if you see someone face to face. No matter what, you want to be following up with all the leads because you never know, A, whether or not they'll become your client, or B, if they know someone else who may be able to work with you and be a better fit. So the impact here is long to short, medium. How about medium to long-term new clients that can be coming your way? And then finally, you want to become findable. And I will say that your LinkedIn profile, when it comes to people being able to find you in order to refer business to you, someone may remember that memorable one-liner, but then they don't have your contact information handy. If you're connected on LinkedIn, they're going to go to your LinkedIn profile, to refresh their memory on what you're doing, to maybe share it with the possible referral. And then also in Google, your LinkedIn profile comes up before your website probably does. So you want to make sure your profile is up to date, accurate, and going to be attractive to the clients that you want to be working with. So at the bare minimum, please make sure that you are using a photo and not a logo. And you also want to add that differentiator, that one-liner, and use it as your headline so that it will be easy for people to remember who you serve and the problem that you solve. You want to learn how to use LinkedIn to build relationships. It should be used as a two-way relationship tool, not just putting out content and talking at people, but building those relationships with your colleagues, with industry influencers, and possibly if your clients also are on LinkedIn. Again, that depends on your type of consulting. But this is definitely a long-term method to grow your network and your referrals and help keep that pipeline of yours full. So here's just a couple tools that I use in my own practice that I find extremely helpful to be able to speed up and even automate some of what we've talked about here today. I use Boomerang. I use it with Gmail, but it's a tool that's an extension or add-in, depending on which one you use, for your email productivity and automation. So this assumes that a lot of your communication is done through email, but I tell you, it is a lifesaver to be able to follow up with prospects and even clients. Also, I highly recommend using a CRM, a customer relationship management tool, to track your progress. There's tons of them out there, but if you're using an Excel spreadsheet, you would be better served to be using a CRM. I happen to use One Page CRM, and I like it because it focuses on relationships. It helps you to track the notes of everyone that you're talking to, all of the people in your sphere. It also gives you reminders so you know who to follow up with when, so that you seem like you're really on top of it. And then also it gives you a place where you can track your pipeline and you can see what's coming and make sure that you're staying full and you don't hit that roller coaster of a dry spell. So we covered a lot in a short period of time. I hope it stimulated a lot of ideas, but now it's time to take some action. The first is to recognize there is abundance all around you in your practice. You already have lots of potential to increase your business and your cash flow. I'd recommend that you use one strategy. Start with just one that we covered. If you haven't raised your rates recently, do that one first, and then work on it daily so that you can, once you have a habit established, so it takes a while, then stack the next one, stack the next one. And if you do that, you will see a difference in the amount of business coming away, the cash flow that comes into your business, and the confidence in knowing that you can grow your consulting business on a regular basis. So if you would like to brainstorm ideas on how to apply some of this specifically in your own practice, go ahead and reach out to me on LinkedIn and we can continue the conversation there. See you next time.